Welcome back, Posh Fam. 10 episodes in, and I do hope you are enjoying the recap so far. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And thank you everyone that has subscribed in the last week. And to those still subscribed, we are very close to 200 subs, guys. And I cannot wait to start the countdown to 300. So I do appreciate the support. Thank you very much. It is Intimacy Week this week with none other than Alessandra Rampolo, the expert. She's a clinical sexologist for this show. And before we kick things off, it was apparent that the group had a bit of unpacking to do following, according to them, the shock revelation by Shanna at the commitment ceremony that he is still in love with his ex, as well as the drama emanating or between Claire, Jesse, and Adam. As the couple try to unpack all that they heard, we see Shannon trying to feel some type of remorse from his admission and now only thinking to be committed to his partner on the show, Kathleen. And I'm like, did it have to go this far for you to show that commitment that was meant to be from the start? He wants to then make amends for his bad behavior. What do you guys think? I personally feel he is still in contact with his ex as we speak. That's my opinion. I feel like they're still talking. Jesse is also waking up to the realization that his rash response to Claire and Adam was unnecessary and maybe unwarranted. And he is feeling very remorseful and thinking about working on the apology train, and I think I support that. As for Melissa and Josh, oh my god, the distance between these two, it's like the distance between Nigeria and Antarctica. It is that long. Josh's face is filled with irritation and the dude wants out of the relationship. He wants to be anywhere else but with Melissa, and I feel like, you know what, he's doing the most. Guaranteed the woman is a little bit crazy in the sexual department, but it's enough for him to be this withdrawn barely 3 weeks in. He doesn't want to be in the same space as Melissa. Melissa, on the other hand, woke up really thirsty for Thor's hammer. As usual, there's nothing new here. And all she could think about whilst Josh was making breakfast was just about sex. And I'm like, this is too much. This is too much. She's so excited about Intimacy Week, and it feels like they both should be humping on each other, you know, in some sexualized pod or something because it's Intimacy Week. I don't know. She can't seem to quench her thirst, and Josh is sort of letting her know that he's finding her a bit much. Checking in with Bronte and Harrison. Guys, we haven't missed anything. These two are still at each other's throat, and they cannot seem to be able to breathe the same air for 5 minutes. It is that bad. Not long after Harrison walked into the apartment to have a chat with Bronte in the balcony, is Bronte literally running out for her dear life. The issue of Harrison writing leave at the commitment ceremony, you know, seems to have robbed Bronte of the wrong way. Bronte feels blindsided because she said that just before the commitment ceremony, Harrison had assured her via text message that he wasn't going anywhere. And in quotes, I am not leaving versus I am not going anywhere became the bone of contention that led to them having a heated argument. It got really heated, guys. Harrison felt his words were taken out of context. I don't know about you, but these two phrases are one and the same thing. I am leaving. I am not going anywhere. Like, what's the difference? But Harrison seemed to think Bronte's putting words in his mouth. He accused her of gaslighting him when we can all see that he is the one gaslighting her. It became excuse me, it became a verbal match between these two. No sooner had he walked in, she is running out in hysterics and crying, say she wants to go home, she wants to leave the show, and she wants to leave, and she really, really wants to go home. And in my head, I'm like, ha ha ha, aha, these two, there is no end in sight to their bickering. They're like old couples who are just constantly at each other's throats. It's just no longer funny. Next up, we have Alessandra herself, having to invite the couples separately for the intimacy workshop. It's called an intimacy workshop. Alessandra feels that, having the conversation around intimacy, not sex, Melissa, not sex, does help accelerate feelings of trust, given how short the relationship between the couples are. And first up were the females who came in for the workshop. They were all gifted with goodie bags in form of sexual toys. You could see Melissa. It felt like Melissa was in a candy store. Melissa actually thought that intimacy week meant we are going to be on the bed 24/7 doing nothing else. That is what Melissa is thinking. I'm telling you. And when Alessandra reminded her or everyone else, like, intimacy doesn't have to be sex. Yes, sex is a part of it, but it's not generally the whole idea or the whole point of having that intimacy. Intimacy creates bond. And so she told them to introduce sexual toys, to spice things up, to initiate date ideas, to spice things up, to have conversations, to just do little things that would ignite the passion. Next up were the boys who came in for the workshop. They all seemed tensed and nervous. Harrison seemed to know it all, and at one point, tried to make a snide comment towards Alessandra. She quickly shut him down. There's no getting around with her. She shut him down real quick. Josh was of the opinion that he did not need toys to spice up his relationship. He feels like he's well equipped for the business. And Alessandra reminded him, yeah, we're not using toys as a replacement. Toys is a complement. And it was so funny because I think this workshop kind of exposed them to the idea of what is not truly the same as what it is. You have to learn to be willing to go the distance, break boundaries, and try absolutely new things or try new things. The workshop came to a conclusion for the boys with Alessandro handing them out a goodie bag as well as a challenge task to help ignite intimacy in their relationship. First up is Ollie and Tani, and Ollie is recreating the Fiji honeymoon experience for Tani, and it was such a pleasure to see. He really went in. Over at Claire and Jessie. Claire organized quiet indoor bowling type situation with plastic bottles and foil paper for bowling balls. It was really cute, and it got them really stripping their defense and just get to know one another. And Jessie seems a little bit relaxed, calmer, taking it in and listening to Claire. I see them calling a truce. I do not know how long this truce is going to last for. However, I am taking whatever truce they call. It is refreshing to see these two actually have a conversation. Now, Dan decided to take Sandy on an Italian cuisine, and it was intimate as well. He did spoil her, and they had very good conversation. Adam and Janelle decided to have a massage R&R type date. It was really beautiful. I felt like, yeah, Adam is really putting the work. The massage came with loads of apology as well. And yeah, really, really beautiful to watch. Now, the kicker was Dan and Bronte. We all know Bronte and Dan are not in a good space, and we can as well even see that Bronte has actually moved out yet again from their apartment. Now, Harrison texted her to see if she was going to go for this date, to which she replied, no thanks. And creepy Harrison decided he was going to take their marriage photo on a date. And he did just that. Went on the harbor, was talking to a photo of Bronte. It was creepy. Yeah, like, no jokes. I feel a certain vibe emanating from this guy. I don't know about you, but having to go on a date with your wedding photo, like trying to control your partner, despite the fact that they're refusing to go on a date with you, you're like, okay, you're not gonna go, but you will definitely go on this date with me. I will make sure you go on this date with me. And it was very creepy, and I was uncomfortable watching the interaction between Harrison and Bronte's photograph from their wedding day. It was just weird. But again, I really can speak on this guy. I know there's a few not loose screws somewhere here. There's definitely a few loose screws, for sure. For sure. His narcissistic behavior is quite glaring. And so, building from the successful date that Claire and Jesse had, Alexandra decided she was going to pay them a visit and get them to, get a little bit more closer. And she knew there wasn't going to be any deep sexual type situation happening between these two because they're only just mending fences. And she introduced a hug session. And this was meant to soften their hearts, create that warmth and affection for each other. It was a good session because they both loved it, and they saw Jesse really, really walking down the apology train and apology footpath. And he decided next up he was going to go over to Adam and Janelle to apologize for his misstatements, which he did. And it was again a beautiful apology, well received by Adam and Janelle. And they felt this apology was really genuine coming from Jesse. I am happy that these two have found truth. For how long? I really have no clue. We'll just have to wait to find out. But it wasn't so rosy for Melissa and Josh. Now, at first, Josh organized a Lego building date, and quite literally, pun intended, the Lego was actually Thor's hammer that they had to build. Melissa found it quite cheeky or tongue-in-cheek, and she did enjoy the Lego building dinner or date, and it led to them having conversations that I quite frankly haven't heard them have. And Josh felt really good about the fact that Melissa had a few hours where there wasn't any sexual tension between them. However, it did not last, because by the next morning, Melissa woke up again very, very thirsty. And cringe fest Josh was not having it. He did not switch on to all the sexual innuendos that Melissa was trying to give off. They saw Melissa reeling and seeing red. It was a verbal matchup, guys. They argued, they said really nasty words between each other, nasty words exchanged between each other. It was so uncomfortable. And in my head, Melissa, 7 hours of just natural conversation and getting to know each other isn't enough to immediately jump on each other's body or head for all those sexual escapades like you want. For Melissa, she really wanted to take on Intimacy Week and ignore what Alexandra said, that it wasn't about sex but more connecting. She ignored the connecting part and wanted to really go on the sexual part. And Josh is like, no, I am not a sex object. You are done using me as a sex object, and I have drawn the line. Nothing for you. Melissa, she looks like someone going through drugs withdrawal. She is a train wreck waiting to happen. She is beside herself. And this is where it ends, guys. Intimacy Week continues tonight. Hopefully I can run that recap and post the video tomorrow. In the meantime, guys, take care, stay well, and be focused. See you then.